In DC Comics, DC has had their fair share of different eras. And thanks to super colossal multiversal crossover events, the writers will use these in-game type of events, crisis events, to kind of reboot characters, origins, and stuff like that for what they see fit to give them a clean slate. That's what they do a lot. Some people even get a little annoyed about how much DC reboots or comics reboot in general because nobody really feels dead for real. Just General Zod, just like any character, has went through his fair share of changes and reboots, but overall, he's still a powerhouse no matter which era we're talking about. Let's analyze them, shall we, in the older days. Even with all these reboots, there's some stuff that just always stays the same. Back in the day, he was a Kryptonian, just like how he is now. He's always been known as a Kryptonian who feels like he needs to be dictator. That's what General Zod has been known for. He thought it was the best idea to make an army of imperfect clones of himself, basically, like you see how it looks, to try to take over. I mean, it's pretty much confirmed here in the lore about General Zod, how he was in charge of Krypton's space division until it was canceled. He set out to seize power by creating his own army of artificial men, all doubles of himself, of course. It was imperfect doubles, Bizarro-like versions, of course. Considered the greatest military mind in Krypton. If you watch the new Man of Steel movie, you kind of see some similarities on how he's always getting imprisoned in the Phantom Zone. You guys already knew that this part of the video was coming. General Zod was in this Phantom Zone. And it's explained here in the lore of the Phantom Zone. You can pretty much see what's going on in the universe, but you can't do nothing. You can't touch or interact. Shown right here. But of course, there's other prisoners to the Phantom Zone, not just Zod. But you know, this is one of the situations he can't be in prison forever because how else are you going to do stories with him, right? He can do your standard Kryptonian stuff like heat vision. That's like a famous Kryptonian power, no matter which continuity. Of course, Zod can do this. He can do your standard stuff like Kryptonians like fly. You don't need to be able to fly to be able to move fast as a Kryptonian. Zod, there's implications that he can sprint fast too, like how these people are on foot, he still can move. Sure, he has super strength and stuff, but being a military type character, General Zod, there's implications he's great. He is pretty great at hand-to-hand combat. Like when they was both depowered here, you get to see him getting a fist fight with Superman to show his hand-to-hand skills. It's interesting seeing a Kryptonian being holding an actual gun, but since he's a military type character, it kind of does fit. His whole gimmick, though, at the same time, though, like his gear's pretty cool, like it's like laser guns and such, futuristic type tech. But obviously, when he's powered up, you know how crazy Kryptonians can be. He can lift a lot of weight and punch or fly through stuff really hard. Like when it comes to how hard he can hit, we've seen him literally fly and hit and break apart a skyscraper with ease, really. I don't think nobody had their doubts, but yeah, with his punching power, just hitting real hard, he can make skyscrapers fall. Due to being a Superman villain, I really have no doubt that if he wanted to, he can definitely lift up a skyscraper, something that could weigh over hundreds of thousands of tons. Because when it comes to fist fighting, we've seen him fist fight with Kryptonians consistently. Like it's pretty much proven he has Kryptonian level strength, but he has like fighting skills, so one could say he can use his fighting skills with this super strength to punch really hard because he has technique. It's proven his punches can knock out Kryptonians even though their durability is crazy. And it's pretty freaking consistent even back in these old days. I mean, it matches up with the writer intent and lore, him punching and knocking Kryptonians out by just punching really freaking hard. Top tier Kryptonians like Supergirl, we've actually seen him get hit. When she threw something at him, he just ate it. She's somebody that simply punched him, and he can recover after those hits. He seems to be an issue for even pre-crisis Superman. He even got hit by pre-crisis Supes. I mean, he's been legit punched in the face by Superman. I want you guys to remember that pre-crisis Kryptonians during these days, this era, Superman and Supergirl can withstand crazy stuff. Like in this particular occasion, Superman was able to withstand gravity waves from heavy mass of galaxies. That thing said galaxies, but even if we assume just more than one, maybe like 2 galaxies, Zod's hits during these pre-crisis days was at a bare minimum would be equivalent to a couple galaxies slamming on your face or some crap. Wouldn't that make sense? Like, you guys know how wide a galaxy can be with other planets and stars. Like, it just gets crazy thinking about him hitting with force of the weight of the mass of multiple galaxies or something, or 2 galaxies, or even 1 galaxy. I'm not going to say he's necessarily equal to Superman during this time of comics, during these old days, pre-crisis days, but at the bare minimum, this is a fair assumption, right? Because we know pre-crisis Superman's way above multiple galaxy shattering and stuff. So this should be fair at least, right? It's not too much to go off for Zod though, back in these days though. We just know that when it comes to his punching power and things based on these Kryptonians back in these early days of these comics, planet shattering should be a joke. If we're being honest, when it comes to these old school Kryptonians, him being a planet buster, it should be like a no duh moment. So yeah, he's definitely a Kryptonian level being. He seems to be able to knock out characters like Supergirl with a kick to the head. I mean, we know Supergirl's extremely durable enough to be able to withstand pressure that would turn a planet into dust. Like, that's how hard her body is and how much she can withstand. She's been hit with gravitational force, the full force of gravity, 1,000 billion times more powerful than can be found on Earth. I don't think you guys realize that Zod punching Supergirl during this era. Like, this being, for example, like you've already seen in this video, Supergirl having to withstand attacks from this being on his Black Star, this being that Supergirl had to fight, her powers are what hold the very universe together. Like, she's a being that can literally reverse the gravitational flow of the entire cosmos. And this same being, it was literally stated that her understanding of the universe gave her absolute control over all aspects of the cosmos, the universe. And these attacks from this being is what Supergirl can withstand getting hit from. And Zod can hit beings like this and make them drowsy, like Supergirl. It's one of them situations where, based on the characters that Supergirl has fought, one could say Zod is in the universe-shattering ranges based on the being Supergirl and Superman to fight. They literally had to fight a being that has control over all aspects of the cosmos or universe. This should technically apply for Zod. Even if you want to argue that they're stronger than him, he shouldn't be that far behind regardless of how you look at it. Even if you want to agree they're stronger, Zod's got to be somewhere in that ballpark or neighborhood of power in general. This would technically imply Zod, just like Superman and Supergirl, should have the strength. His punches should technically feel like a whole universe falling on your face or some crap, but that's none of my business. I mean, Zod has been hit by Kryptonians that know martial arts, that are the homeworld's most vicious, Krypton's most vicious martial arts disciplines. I mean, he's got other Kryptonians slung at him, and he withstood it. His body was able to withstand Superman's heat vision, so yeah, his body can take as much as he can dish out when it comes to how hard he can punch or just attack with. Zod and other Kryptonians can withstand these blasts from these ships, because Krypton could be conquered by this same stuff, but they're not the same as they used to be. They're considered super Kryptonians because of the yellow sun now, so these blasts ain't going to do much to Zod and them. Like, we don't have many speed feats, but there's a fair assumption to be made. He has to be at least faster than the speed of light. I mean, Superman and Supergirl are way faster than the speed of light. We just don't really have many occasions of him proving it in these days. I just don't see why he wouldn't be able to fly at fast and light speeds. That's like standard Kryptonian starter pack type status, you know? But everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed. In theory, I don't see no reason why he can't do what other Superman can do. Like lifting the weight of the Earth. That's something Kryptonians can do in pre-crisis with ease. I don't see no reason why he shouldn't be able to do stuff like this too. Matter of fact, if I'm being honest, even bigger planets like Jupiter, I don't see no reason why he shouldn't be able to lift stuff like that, the weight of that with ease, right? Considering what pre-crisis Superman and them do. Like, this is the kind of Looney Tune stuff they used to do back in the day. So him lifting a large planet or two should be definitely believable when you consider he had to compete against Kryptonians like this. You know, it just makes sense. But what do you guys think? What do you think General Zod's punching power is? How hard do you think he can hit? How fast do you think he can fly? I want to hear your thoughts below. Respect General Zod back in these early days, though. Not too much to go off of, but enough to respect him at least, right? But I got to say thanks to the donations. Thanks to the donators. It helps out a lot. Respect Zod's might. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.